Oh, hey girls. July 16th, 2024. I almost said June, but I got it right. Don't start by saying, Dad, geez. Well, I told you. I hadn't made one for a while. Because I was super bummed dealing with a bunch of stuff and not certain how to tell you about it. And I couldn't get it out of my head. And you'll see it here in a minute. I couldn't get it out of my head. So I couldn't just ignore it. There it goes again. I know. I'm trying. Okay? Tough topic. Bear with me. You'll see. Parents. Parents get put in charge of people, and there's no requirement to know how to do anything other than have sex. And yeah, that's about it. Then you get children and you're in charge of them. Grace and Muffin too, actually. I think I told you this too. But Monkey, I know I definitely told you that everybody you meet is a kid. Every single person is exactly like you. Confused, scared, unsure of what they're doing, thinking everybody else is smarter than them. Well, some people, not everybody. There are some that actually think that they're smarter than everybody else. That's a different story. But that now they're in charge of these little people that they can just control. And more often than not, they screw it up because they have no idea what they're doing. And they're consumed with themselves and think, well, I can make these little ones do exactly what I want them to do and believe exactly what I want them to believe. Well, I'm no different. My parents, I don't know what to call them anymore because they're not really my parents. They didn't do anything for me. My genuine parents who raised me, who I would give anything to spend more time with, were my grandparents. John and Angelina, your great-grandparents, raised me, took care of me, provided for me. If it wasn't for them, I don't know where I'd be. But the two people who bore me physically, I don't even know how to put it. You'll see why in a second. But my level of disappointment in them as human beings is off the charts. And they've dragged me down for the last time, or attempted to. They didn't actually pull it off. They tried. They tried really bad. Or really hard, I should say. They tried really hard, but they didn't work. My sadness, or whatever this emotion is, disappointment and sadness, is pretty much what I've boiled it down to. Which, by the way, I think we've talked about this. Anger in itself is not an emotion. I know your mental health professionals, it's a secondary emotion. No, it's not. It's not an emotion at all. And it's not secondary because it happens first. So it's a primary reaction. Anger is a primary reaction to an unaddressed emotion. Anyway, if you address your emotions, you actually don't become angry. Or it's easier not to become angry. But sadness and disappointment in them is what I've been feeling. And then I thought, well, goddamn, I can't shake this emotion until it's thoroughly processed, and I don't want to talk to Muffin and Monkey until I process it. Okay. I'm going to be blunt, which was my plan from the beginning, but I wanted to pad this first. Your grandparents, my parents, are absolute train wrecks of human beings. I say that not as an insult, but as a matter of fact. And everybody knows it, and that's the thing. Everybody in the family knows it, and they've enabled it. Enabling is when you see somebody doing something bad, and you tell them that it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's okay. You have an excuse. No, there are no excuses. There might be reasons, but there's no excuse for poor behavior. It's inexcusable. And there's a difference between a reason and an excuse. A reason that someone becomes angry might be they've been hurt. That's not an excuse. It doesn't excuse the anger. It's just the reason. It's important to explore reasons. Anyway, they're both just kind of train wrecks, and I'm telling you this so that you know me and know what I dealt with growing up. Not to feel sorry for me, but just so you have more experiences. Another example, pilots. It's always about flying, Dad. I know, but it's a great industry with a lot of safety and a good track record. In aviation, they make us watch accidents. We listen to cockpit recordings. We watch radar tracks. We look at what happened in accidents. Why? So that we don't repeat those things. So it doesn't happen to us. We learn from other people's mistakes or their victories and see where they went wrong, where they went right, and then we can apply those same things. Same thing for you. I'm not telling you this so that you can come to any sort of conclusion about Marty and Gilbert, your grandparents. From here on out, I'm just going to refer to them as Marty and Gilbert. Anyway, it's important for you to know so you can see what happened to me as a case study, basically. And you can avoid those same types of things in many regards. Marty has been just a disaster throughout her entire life. Gilbert has been even more of a disaster in that he just never decided. He did decide. He decided never to work. The guy never had a job. He had a job for 4 years, being a disc jockey, and just clung to those 4 years as his accomplishment in life. And even that's not, I found out that something that I knew for a long time, but I found out it was true. Gilbert, for years, claimed to be like this war hero, a combat veteran war hero. And I found out, no, he's not. Sure, he may have been in the army, but no, he's not a combat veteran. And he'd given himself all kinds of like medals. You can buy those at any surplus store. He very, very coincidentally lost them and buried them and got rid of them because something called stolen valor is a punishable crime. In any case, he clung to that, advertised that as his accomplishment too. He had to cling to those accomplishments because he had none. Zero, nothing. I'm being blunt here, just to save time. The guy is the biggest coward I've ever met in my life. That's the reality. My life, the biggest coward I've ever met, Gilbert. I've known that for 30 plus years. What am I, 47 right now? Yeah, oh yeah. By the time I was a teenager, I knew who he was. But I felt pity for him because he was such a loser. I felt pity for the guy. He was just this loser, and I just patted him on the back like, it'll be okay. You're not that bad. Yeah, he was that bad. Just accomplished nothing, provided me with nothing. If it wasn't for my grandparents, I would have been provided nothing. What he did is he would take money from them and then give it to me and then pretend that he was providing for me. Marty, even worse, never did a damn thing for me. Actually tried multiple times to make my life more difficult, canceling a back surgery that I needed really badly because I was in agony and she just wanted to flex her muscles on me. Calling a girlfriend's parents one time to just intervene in our relationship. Telling me to kill myself and then saying he pulled a gun on me when I didn't own a gun. In any case, they're always, and that ties into this, they're always victims. They're always victims. I am not. I have succeeded despite these people. Maybe even because of it. So I might have to be thankful for these people. But when all the things went down between me and Mom, Gilbert saw an opportunity to capitalize on the situation. He had taken out a bunch of loans on the house his parents had given him, and he was about $170,000 in debt on that house and having to pay money to pay off that home loan. It's called a home equity line of credit. There's equity in your house. You have money invested in your house, or other people have invested money in your house, and then you want to capitalize on that. So you take out a home equity loan. You might know this by now. But you have to pay it back. So he's paying $700, $800 a month from the money he's getting from the government, his other handout, and he doesn't want to give that up anymore. And he wants me to give him money, and I'm giving him $1,000 a month, and he just wants people just to give him money. Why? Because he's never earned anything. And he needs money, but he is too gutless to go out in the world and earn it. So he wants out from under this mortgage, this home loan that he's taken out. And he says, JJ, I'm going to sell this house and we're going to get you a house in Colorado. It'll be yours. I don't need it. I'm good. I'll sleep in a van. I'm like, you won't sleep in a van. Come on, you come out here and live with me. Well, maybe. Anyway, so we buy the house on Lapis. And I knew what he was doing. I knew it. I knew exactly, having dealt with this for 40 plus years by that point. I knew what he was doing. Why? Because one time during the sale, when I was organizing everything for him, he said, thank you, Tina. I have to sell this house. And I went, nope. We just stopped the whole process because I wasn't going to let him blame Mom. He wanted to blame somebody for having to sell that house. He couldn't just admit that he wanted out from under the mortgage, from the debt he had incurred. He couldn't admit that because he's a coward. So he doesn't have the ability, he doesn't have the strength to say, hey, I've got myself into a situation here and I need out from under it. Totally acceptable thing to say. And it shows strength when you can do that. But he doesn't have that ability. He has thrived on cowardice and playing the victim. Thank you, Tina. Nope. So about 4 or 5 months pass, and he says, JJ, look, I do need out from under this. He says it to me, not to anybody else. Because now he's desperate. He's running out of money, and he wants money. So we sell the house in San Diego. We sell that house, and this is the closing statement right here. This is the closing statement for that house. Right here, the house sold for $879,000. Good amount. These are all the commissions, fees, title charges, escrow charges, expenses. Important one, loan payoff. Loan payoff. That's how he'd been surviving, taking out loans on his house. So 170. And then net proceeds to you, an important number. $643,708.42. That's what he cleared. And I remained clear of that. He put it into his account. He tried to tempt me to touch that money. I didn't. JJ, there's over $500,000 in that account. It's all yours. Oh, no, nope. I'm not touching that. I know what you'll do. I know what you'll do if I touch that money. He took my money. That's what was coming. I knew it. So, sold that house. He kept $80,000 for himself, or so he says. He probably kept more. But he then went and bought the house on Lapis Court. This was supposed to be a house for you guys. It was going to be a family inheritance. That's the way it works. That's the way it's supposed to work, is the family is supposed to build wealth and pass it down. He doesn't understand that. Or maybe he does, but he most likely has a borderline personality disorder, but I'm not here to diagnose him. But those types of people just like destroying things. They're like little children. They just like destroying things. In any case, there's the house. Total sale price of the house. Right there. This is another important number. I can't get it to highlight. You can see it. $685. He had cleared $649. This house costs $685,000. Why is that important? Well, because you scroll down a little bit, very important number. Total amount financed, $300,000. There's his signature right there on the closing day, financing $300,000. Well, he didn't want to live there, so he went home because he wanted to be with Marty. He wanted to be near her because there is what's referred to as a codependence. Codependence is when you rely on somebody to basically exist. Gilbert has no friends. The family knows what he is. They still buy some of his BS, but they know. And so what Gilbert needs is somebody who will buy his BS. Marty does. Well, why does Marty do that? Marty does that because she has alienated every single person who's ever been in her life. Everybody. Nobody wants to interact with her. She is so toxic that nobody wants to interact with her. She can't hold down a job. She can't keep a friend. Nothing. But she will buy Gilbert's lies. And that's where we come in to what's been going on. This is a text message where I told them what was going to happen. I told them, you're going to burn through this money and then there will be nothing left. Will be nothing left, and when you burn through that money, that's it. You could keep the house, I'm pointing right there because it was right there. It still is, but now it's no longer theirs because they wanted the cash. They don't understand finances. These are like two kids. They're essentially two children in adults' bodies. What did I tell you? Everyone you meet is a child. They just happen to be in a big body. Maybe they've been around a little bit longer, but they're still kids. This specifically applies to these two people. All he wants back is the $300,000 you stole from his proceeds from the Van Dyke sale. Oddly, that amount wasn't used towards the Lapis house. I've got all the bank statements and the loan docs. It simply seems to have disappeared. Any ideas? Well, I didn't know how to respond to this, so I just laughed at it and told her to seek help, which she really needs to. She then said she is, and she's going to sue me and threaten me with elder abuse and all this stuff. It's the standard Marty. This is why Marty can't maintain any friends, any family. So she goes on. There's other, I won't bore you with this, but I want you to get the absolute gist of who Marty is. Marty was 16 years old when she got knocked up by a 32-year-old Gilbert. Yeah. You can kind of just from that start to see the dynamic here. Marty has been able to hold a job, unable to remain sober, can't keep her kids with any regard in her life. She can't maintain a marriage. Nothing. But she says, you, referring to me, you have been the biggest failure of my life, and just to think I could have chosen the better route for both of us. Abortion was legal back then. That's the kind of person Marty is. And I just laugh and say, thank you, Marty. And that was it. It's blocked because, I don't want to interact with that person ever again. So, she accused me of stealing $300,000. I don't know how. Because going back to this, okay, total amount financed $300,000. That means he put down $385,000. $685,000. Cleared $643,000. Where did this $300,000 go? It was financed by him. Because now he's trying to claim that he bought the house outright. That's the new twist on their story. So I got this from him. As a result of our current circumstances, and me finding out you took out a $300,000 home loan, remember I told you, every alcoholic will always accuse you of being drunk. Every thief will accuse you of stealing. Every liar will accuse you of lying. They will always accuse you of what they are guilty of. Every time. It never fails. It never, ever fails. People who feel guilt, who feel their conscience actually talking to them, will accuse you of doing what they do. That way they can vilify you. Me finding out that you took out a $300,000 home loan under my name days after I bought the Lapis Court property. You'll find my updated last will and testament and my revocation of the 2013. So he basically wrote me out of his will, which is pointless because he's not going to have anything to will to anybody. So he financed $300,000, as we saw. And he's claiming within days, by the way, maybe, because you'll have these houses, and if you do want to take out a home equity loan, you'll see that you can't do it in a couple days. That's not possible. No, that process takes months after you own the property. But this is his story. This is his new BS story. Is that I took out the money from that house, and that's why he's short $300,000. Has nothing to do with him. He hasn't done anything wrong. I stole it, is the story. Do you kind of see what I've been dealing with ever since I was a kid? I saw this and just thought to myself, this is why. This was why for years I couldn't find myself. These two degenerates, and they are two degenerates. You see, Gilbert has to claim that I stole $300,000 from him because he has to look like a success. And if he's not a success in some way, well, he must have been stolen from. Marty has to look like a success. And if I succeeded, becoming a pilot, becoming a check airman, getting a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, a flight instructor, well, then she's not a success. So I have to be the biggest failure of her life. This is a result of what I really wanted to get at. Enabling. I don't even know how to underscore this enough. As far as Gilbert, people have known the train wreck he is. As long as I've known him. And they don't say anything. Marty, even worse. They just let her do these things. Well, she must have had a reason. He must have had a reason. Oh, it's bad luck. And that's why they act this way. No. It's because people don't stand up and say, no. No, I'm not going to tolerate this. You're not going to behave this way. I'm not going to interact with you if you behave this way. So the house is gone on Lapis. They sold it off. They cleared whatever amount of money they cleared. And that's it. The house that you could have inherited, that you should have inherited, is gone. I'll get you another one. It's not a big deal. What is a deal, not a big one, is that enabling made your grandparents like this. Made me unable to find myself for years. Just total dysfunctionality. You can't enable people. I can't, I cannot stress this enough. You can't enable people. It's just like drugs or alcoholism. There's no difference. It's the exact same thing. This is their drug. This is what they use to get by. And just like every drug user, they think this is acceptable for them. They have a reason. They think they're special. They think that they have an excuse, a reason and an excuse for their behavior. An alcoholic will tell you, well, you don't understand how stressed I am. I can drink this way, but you've got a drinking problem. Not me. Drug addict, same thing. And if you tell somebody who's on booze or drugs, well, I understand. It's okay. It's okay. No, I'm not going to say anything. Hey, isn't your dad drinking a little too much? Yeah, but I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved. That's also a form of cowardice, by the way. I don't want to get involved. Jesus, one of my main guys, had a statement about He'll take somebody who chooses a side before he'll take somebody who's quote unquote lukewarm. The lukewarm people will say whatever they can to survive because they're cowards. You stole $300,000 from me. You're the worst failure of my life. I should have aborted you. But they're gone now. And I'm gotta be brutally honest with you. I'm glad they're not going to be in your life. These people are just horrific in every way. And while I wish them the best, I don't want them around me ever again. And that's the way it's going to be. I had told both of them that if they stopped, I would help them with the mortgage on that house. They didn't stop. They sold the house. Now they're going to have to deal with the repercussions. As far as I'm concerned, they no longer exist. So that's what I was dealing with. And then my buddy died, like I told you about. Missed that guy. He was really cool. Talked to a few people about him. Let it go because people pass away. And don't hold resentments. And you might say, well, Dad, aren't you holding a resentment right now? No, not at all. I understand why they're doing this. And I have no resent against them. Because I'm being critical of them, a lot of people mistake that. Well, you're being critical of that person. You can't love them. What the hell are you talking about? No, I'm being critical of them because I love them. Let me ask you, and I want you to think about this. If one of you started using drugs and I just went, oh, well, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved. No, it's okay. Is that love? Or if I go to you and say, hey, you knock that off right now, you're going to hurt yourself. No, I'm not allowing that. Stop it or you lose me. Is that love? That's real love. Love is not telling somebody they're doing the right thing. Very often it's telling somebody they're doing the wrong thing. Anyway, so no resentment. I wish them the best, and I, quite frankly, hope they make it to the other side. I really do. I do. Holding resentments is pointless, and you find that out when people pass away. So now I won't have any remorse or regret when they pass. They've already passed in my existence, and I've let them go. It's remarkably peaceful. But they have exerted their last attempt at pain at me. It's not going to happen again. Right now, my main concern is you guys and getting you another house that they burned through. So. There's one more thing. I get these. I know I showed you one with my buddy Choi. But I was flying with, let's see if I can pull this up. Let me turn it up. I was flying with a girl named Haley, 24, 25, young girl working on being a captain, and I had flown with her, training and assisting her, and she had been, we talked about it, she'd been dismissed by a lot of both male and female captains. Your concerns aren't important. I've got it. I'm taking care of it. And I don't do that. When someone addresses a concern, it's really important that you validate that concern. Absolutely important. They have some sort of concern, and they are voicing it to you. And so it's important that you, hey, okay, well, let's talk this out. Let's figure this out. And so at the end of the trip, 4 days, she made a statement, and then I grabbed my phone. I'm like, wait!
Okay, girls, I want you to hear this. It's very important. This is Haley. She's about to become a captain. She just said something. Can you repeat those words? What were the words that you had?
No,
Come on, what was that? I didn't quite hear that.
He's cocky.
Go ahead. What was the best check airman you've had?
Yeah, because if you're recording, then I don't want to say it. Then you're just gonna like.
My daughters need to hear this.
Or are you
Yeah.
just gonna do it because you can't remember anything?
That's true. See, remember what? She said
Best check ever.
See? Love you.
I had to. I get that a lot. I get that very often. I get text messages. I save them because it's so validating for me. I got this text message actually last night. I don't even know who it's from. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who it's from. It's just a phone number. And just somebody's, hey man, just wanted to say thanks for how much I learned on our OOE is like training trip. That man up and fly the plane approach has been making this job so much less stressful and way more fun. I don't know who it was, but absolutely it was my pleasure. And I treat them all exactly the same. Male, female, gay, straight, black, purple, yellow, whatever. They're all the same to me because everybody does have the same ability to do this particular job. And I say this particular job because we have Olympics for a reason. Not even all men can do all the things that men can do. That's why there's a weightlifting competition in the Olympics. And I can't do everything that a woman can do. Anyway, but this particular job, flying a plane, yeah, everybody can pull it off if you put forth the effort. And so I treat everybody equally, and everybody gets the exact same approach. Haley enjoyed it. She was good. She did really well. She's going to make a very, very good captain. But I get those, and what's this one? Oh, random text, but yeah. I thrive on doing the opposite of what Marty and Gilbert do with their existence. I build people up and send them off into the world. Empowering. Remember we talked about empowering? Actually empower them. Strengthen them, making them better. Letting them make decisions. And at no point do I ever say, well, you messed up that landing for me. That's why I didn't have a good landing. Why did I talk like that? I don't know. Because it's a cowardly thing to do, to blame other people for our problems. All the problems, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. All of my problems are the result of my decisions. 100%, no doubt about it, I created all of my own problems. Did some people take my desire to put my hands up and go, okay, I screwed up? Because when you do that, there are going to be people who try and kick you. So I did that. Okay, hey, so I screwed up, and then the kicking starts from the weak people. It's always the weak people that do that. Strong people, hey, no problem. You're good. Hey, come on, let's all move together, and let's fix whatever this is. So, yeah. Oh, it's another text. Thank you so much for coaching me and teaching me. You were the best check airman. I keep them, and I show them to you because this is what these are. That's what this is. This is me trying to coach and teach you. And I swear to you, girls, it's okay to be scared, and it's normal to be scared and indecisive and not know what the hell is going on in life. Everybody's like that. We're all kids. Everyone you meet except for the narcissists who think that they know everything. Stay the hell away from those people. I'm just trying to get through life. I can't figure things out. I just know what works. And what seems to work is raising your hand and going, I don't know, or hey, I screwed up, and go with that. Remember back when you were in school? You got a math problem or something in front of you. You don't know how to do it. Do you fake it? Do you sit there and just fake the math problem? Or do you say to the teacher, hey teacher, I don't know how to do this. I must have messed up and missed something here. You will actually learn and become stronger from putting your hand up. Or you could, hey, Jimmy was talking when you were explaining that. I didn't get this. Yeah, it was his fault that I didn't understand this. I don't know who Jimmy was. Anyway. Okay. Well, I feel better. I don't know about you. I'm sorry that I enabled your grandparents, or I was one of the enablers of your grandparents, and it came to this whole mess. But you won't have to deal with that. Learn from my mistakes as far as enabling, and never do it. When somebody screws up, go to them and say, hey, you've screwed up. I still love you. I still love you. But you have screwed up here, and you need to fix it. Hopefully, if they love you back, they will fix it. And if they don't, they don't. You can't force somebody to love you. Another shitty part of life. I don't even know what that is. That's a new sound from my phone. All right. I got some steaks marinating. Otherwise, I'd watch some funny videos with you. But I'm starving. Thanks for being there for me, girls. You have no idea what you do for me. You motivate me to be better. Everything you see. And I'm hoping you see a lot by the time you watch these. It was just me working for you because you motivate me to be a better person. And thank you. You do the opposite of enable me. You motivate me to be better. Thank you so much. I love you. I'm going to get teary-eyed here. I love you so damn much. I think about you every day. Hundreds of times. All right. You go out and love everyone else as much as I love you. Sound good? All right. Till next time you click.